Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at the newly released Canon R5 Specs. Now, Canon have been slowly drip feeding us bits of information about this camera. If you don't know about it already, it's the follow-up to the 2017? That's what it came out? 2018 Canon EOS R, which was Canon's attempt to combat the Sony mirrorless range, and it fell a little bit flat, but they're back with the R5. From what we know already, it's going to be pretty beefy, but let's have a look at what they've released today or yesterday and see what they've said. Let's go. So I'm on Engadget here. Headline is Canon's 8K capable EOS R5 will also shoot 4K 120 frames per second at 4K. Dual pixel autofocus will work in all 4K and 8K video recording. What? 4K 120 FPS. Okay, let's keep going. My mind's blown, but let's keep going. Not a lot of folks are out shooting photos or video right now. Yeah. So Canon is trying to build excitement for its upcoming 8K capable R5 mirrorless camera by slowly dribbling out the specs. Yeah, it's just revealed some more details about the camera's video capability, saying it will shoot 10-bit 4K Canon log video using the full width of the sensor up to a stellar 120 frames a second, easily beating any other mirrorless camera. Oh my god. So to put it into perspective, right, so I'm shooting on the Canon EOS R right now. I love this camera, it's great, but it's definitely flawed. It definitely has a lot of drawbacks on it. Now, the Canon EOS R, the current version, when you go in 4K, it A, crops the video, and B, you can only shoot at 30 frames per second. That's the maximum it can go to. So going into the R5, I was going to be happy if we got either a higher frame rate on the 4K or the full width of it. And the higher frame rate, I was expecting 60 if we were going to get it. Not both 120 frames a second and the full width and 4K all at once. Wow, what a package. In addition, you'll be able to capture 8K if you want, up to 30 FPS, and 10-bit external 10-bit 4K at 60 FPS, which, sorry, I just kicked my tripod in excitement there. Canon confirmed that the R5 will capture both 4K and 8K video using the full width of the sensor, though it didn't say whether 4K would be captured using line skipping or downsampling. Either way, you'll be able to benefit from the shallow depth of field capability of the full frame sensor with greater low light capability to boot, which is a downside you get from cropping in to 4K at the moment on the Canon EOS R. Canon's excellent dual pixel autofocus will work in all 4K and 8K modes, making the camera desirable for run and gun documentary shooters and independent filmmakers. Absolutely. I want to shoot the dog following too on this camera. I hope it comes out in time. Oh, is there a release date? I wonder if there's a release date. The company also confirmed that it will have 5-axis in-body stabilization, or IBS for short, that will work in concert with many of the RF and EF lenses. So this is a problem that Canon have had for a while, is that none of their cameras have proper inbuilt stabilization, meaning you have to buy the lenses that have it. And obviously, when you need different size lenses and you want them all to have inbuilt stabilization, the money and the price goes way up. So the fact that we're going to get the camera on its own is going to have inbuilt stabilization means that you can be a bit more flexible with your lenses. You don't have to buy the super duper stupid expensive IBS lenses if you don't have to. You can just rely on the camera to do that itself. Obviously, IBS in lenses is always great, but if the camera can do it on its own, you make that one-off investment in the camera, and then you can buy more lenses, different lenses, with different capabilities that don't have IBS built in. You're not going to lose out on that feature, which is amazing. As the company said earlier, you'll also get dual card slots with one CF Express slot and one SD UHS 2 slot. So that was another big issue with the Canon EOS R that a lot of people had problems with. There's only one card slot and it's an SD card slot, which I'm fine with. I find it doesn't really get in the way, but for a lot of people, they like that 2-card slot. So the fact that you can have that option now to have both a CF card and an SD card in your camera at the same time is going to be great for a lot of people. All of this confirms that the R5 could be the mirrorless camera to get for video, with specs that appear to blow away rivals and narrate a weakness in sight. So wait, hang on, Tech Radar say release date. Oh, all Tech Radar says is a full launch is unlikely to happen until sometime in summer 2020, which that's not a release date. Get out of here. Yeah, so the two things left really to find out about this camera, because I'm pretty much sold on it already, I'm sure most of you are. The two key things, the price and the release date. We're shooting a dark following. We're supposed to be shooting it in June, but we've pushed it back to August now for obvious reasons. So will the camera come out in time? Because that would allow us to shoot our film at potentially 4K, because I have the Canon EOS R, as I say, and it does shoot at 4K, but we're limited to that crop sensor, and I'd rather utilize the full frame of the 1080p codec than the cropped 4K. I feel like that's a better trade-off there. But if we can get our hands on this camera and utilize 4K 120 frames per second using the full width, my god. But how much is this all going to cost? That's the question. The Canon EOS R, which came out at the end of 2018, cost £3,500. This is definitely going to cost more, but how much more will it cost? Maybe £4,000 potentially, because this thing rivals the C200 series, the Mark II and the Mark III. It's rivaling that sort of range of camera in a body that's like this big. So for that price, what you're getting is unbelievable, really. And again, with the inbuilt stabilization, think of how much you might save going forwards, not having to buy IBS lenses all the time to get that stabilization, because the camera will do it for you. So, wow, I'm pretty mind blown by those specs. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about these new specs for the Canon R5? Let me know in the comments below. Are you thinking of picking it up at launch? Is it going to depend on the price? Is it going to depend on the release date? Because I know that affects some people in terms of their work and switching over and like the middle of stuff, but obviously work's a bit all up in the air at the moment. Yeah, do you think you're going to get it? If so, why? If not, why? And if you're stuck in between, you're not sure yet, let me know as well. I'm always interested to hear all of your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. That would really help us out. And of course, give the video a like as well if you enjoyed it. That's it from me. I'm going to go and stare into space and be mind blown at the specs. And I'll see you all in the next video.